Hello. I've decided to have too much caffeine and now I am wide awake and recording myself. I am just randomly playing a comfort game. And I'll probably say something about video games while I do it. Yeah. Cool. I have a soft spot for this game. It's the second time I'm recording it, I think. From the beginning of the game as well. So, oops. What can you do? It's a good one. Now is the time to admit my sins, maybe. I've weirdly avoided Hollow Knight, despite liking Metroidvanias, especially these. Maybe it's because it lacks RPG stuff. Not that I'm in for. And sadly, this game has the sin of having two playable characters. One of them is clearly the developer's favorite. And that would be this guy here, Jonathan. He gets way more equipment than Charlotte ever does. And it's a bit BS. Because she has some good abilities. Like at the beginning of the game, magic is really strong. Hello. And generally speaking, magic should be a lot stronger. But here we are. I think they can do this in speedruns, where they just like stand here and they just get hit. You're joking. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Recently, I went through a phase of playing a bunch of new games. And then when it came to... Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, one second. When it came to... You're joking. When it came to finding a game to play with a friend, genuinely struggling to find one. Because I said I'd quit PvP games. Right, and some of you, dear viewer, may say I'm being a bit of a skill by not wanting to play that. But I've said my feelings, I've said my piece on that, and no amount of I've finally learned how to enjoy a game will change how I feel about it. And to some degree, I'm a bit of a liar, because I still play Master Day.
This is your training.
That is technically a PvP game. Right?
I'll make you a deal.
And to some degree, I am like, my joy is dictated by the developer because they make the cards, right? They actively choose what's good, what's bad, and then I have to live with that. Because as soon as tomorrow, the office could be like, you know what, guys? Let's make Livestar bad, right? Or Sky Striker is gonna suck because we're gonna make a cards or like an archetype that counters it. I'm gonna still play the game anyways because I think it's fun, and at the very least, with that kind of game, it's a 1v1 scenario, and at least with Master Duel, there's no BM built into the game. You can't really like grief somebody or like troll them, which is good. It's definitely less rage-inducing. You can definitely enjoy your life a lot more. Even though it's probably the most miserable card game to play out there. I still play it. It's good. Skyscraper is good at the moment in Master Duel. In general, it is. It's great. Let me send my anime girls. And yeah. So finding a game to play with your friends, it's hard because sometimes you're waiting out for like some friends stuff, which I actually have no qualms with, to be honest. It just came in a strange time where it's cheap, but nobody has money. I feel like if Friend Swap came out in like the pandemic, it would be wild. Literally unstoppable. Like, I mean, Lethal Company would have like banged so hard during the pandemic. I know it would have because I was a wee lass. Not too much of a wee lass, but I was definitely young enough to still like yearn social life really badly. And having Friend Swap, which by design has a very low barrier of entry, you don't have to be playing games all the time to enjoy them, but you still get the same amount of enjoyment. There's no like diminishing returns if you're like a hardcore gamer, right? You'll probably demand more of the mechanics, but that's just because you do play games in your free time, right? And having something like a mixture of people who do and don't play games can make it super interesting, because a lot of the most compelling moments from a Friend Swap game is that you're playing with your friends, right? You got the one guy that everyone makes fun of for the session, or just in general. Sometimes it's me, because I have the dumb hobbies. I am 2D and enjoy other 2D women. What can I say? So, I got the short end of the stick here. But, yeah, it lends itself to comedy. On the topic of that, watching people play Mario Party, deeply entertaining. Sparks of joy. I was definitely one of those people that just made the one person having a terrible game have an even worse game. Because it's fun. But, it's like really annoying that it's stuck on Nintendo consoles. And there's no real like substitute. Because what it is, it's a digital board game. It removes the whole like social aspect of asking for like rules or whatever, which is compelling. But because it's digitized, it also has a lot of padding, I think. There's a lot of like waiting for this turn to end, or like this thing to pass, so you can continue playing. I don't think I'll do the exploit in this video. The money exploit in this game. I will not do it. I refuse to bore all of you, if I don't already. Plus, I don't know. I think for me, like, I've got not a very strong work ethic, but I'm very bad at relaxing. Weird statement to say, but I'm very bad at relax. Mainly because, like, games is a hobby, but also a career and a passion. So it's hard to draw the line. But at the same time, I enjoy it. I enjoy games more because I know about them. And I've noticed there's a degree of like ignorance with a lot of people where they're afraid to criticize what they like. There's like this belief that you have to just take it as it is, right? If you like something, you know what? No, wait, hold on. I feel like that room is going to bug somebody. I'm gonna go ahead and get it. But yeah, there's an underlying thing where people just can't seem to accept a single piece of criticism about something they enjoy. And I think that's a bit like flat. For something you say you care so much about, you know, I feel like you should be able to accept that there's something wrong with it. And I don't mean in a bad way, right? Where it's like there's something fundamentally wrong with the product. It's more of you can accept the good and bad parts of your favorite thing. Now watch as I fail this jump for a potion. I swear it's doable. Thank you. I probably won't be editing this video down either. So it'll be interesting if one of my videos, as of the recording of this, has no views, but this slop that I'm recording at some random time in the evening gets more views. It will be interesting. Maybe I'm cut out for streaming. Maybe I should sell my soul and record every moment of my life. Streaming. I don't know. Spectatorship has been largely ingrained with games, but more now. As esports kind of tips out a little bit, streaming takes its place. And a lot of people experience games that way. There's a certain big-nose individual who has strong opinions about multiplayer games. And I'm like, I don't really care, but if the guy who can play the game full time says it's fun or not fun, they either have a very strong, good or bad opinion about the game. I'm not sure how to feel about that. You know? I've never played an extraction shooter, but it sounds extremely infuriating. Respectfully speaking, it sounds very infuriating. And I can't imagine spending like 8-9 hours of my life doing that. I've spent 8-9 hours of my life working at like a job, you know? And I might prefer doing that than playing an extraction shooter. Because at least I go home with my things. I'm blasting my mic right now. That is sad. Maybe it's a little too close to my mouth. Excuse me. Your poor ears, I'm sorry. I mean, your poor ears whenever you click on my videos. Yeah. This little bastard in the screen. Yeah, this little dude. My fault. My fault. You know. God. Oh. And that is why you don't bind them to function keys. No. Great. We should buy a custom stream deck. Some little buttons for my toggles when recording. Fiddle with them. Cause I have toggles. People may know I have toggles. I just don't use it often. I paid for them. I don't use them. Oh, yeah. You did not see any of that. You did not see any of that. I'm airing out the whole room, dude. Nobody saw that. Oh no. I'll shudder to think of the file size.
Jonathan!
You know, I think now is probably a terrible time to ask the question, but like, I've been mainly choosing video topics. I wonder if my random viewers have ideas. I'd like to hear images ideas on video games or any game adjacent topics. I'm happy to put my 2 cents in, even though my opinion probably is worth a hot lot of nothing. But so is yours, if I put it that way. So, you know, maybe I won't listen to you at all. And I'm doing this just for engagement. I'm just like, hey guys, let me know what you want in your next video. Okay, that doesn't work. Good to know. I think I have to go all the way down. All the way down. Having done this, I realized that my videos are actually still not unscripted, or off script rather, because I don't just randomly go all the way down while recording, or make any meme references. I should. But then people might think I'm not funny and boring. I'll never win. I'll never win. I'm my own biggest hater. It's true. I don't know how to do that quickly. The movement in this game is speed on.
I love you.
Jonathan!
I think that's sealing right. Thing.
Charlotte!
Jonathan!
Charlotte!
Jonathan!
Charlotte!
Jonathan!
Yes, video suggestions. I'll take them. I'm happy to answer questions. As professionally as possible as an image with ideas. Well, actually, am I an image? Am I multiple images? Questions. Am I going to beat him first try? Probably not. But we will see. Does he have a center? Oh, fuck. Promise I'm okay at video games. I totally don't hit re-record when I die. Totally. Nice. Does this game have escape though? I think it does. Nice. Can I even get this right now? No, right? Because I need the boost. So I have it already. Oh, I forgot that I have it already. Wait, hold on. I think the most efficient word to not miss him and piss someone off while I record gameplay. Because I mean, yes, there's some backtracking. It's a Metroidvania, right? You know, it's to be expected. But you know, I don't want to get like backseated a couple hours later by someone on YouTube. I hate this game. It's like my nth playthrough, like Portrait Room. I try and do different things, but sadly when I found out that darts is actually like really healthy for your regular gameplay, like you can max out pretty early on. I think even without the mastering, which gives you double the mastery points. In this game, when you kill an enemy involving a sword weapon with Jonathan, I'll show you from God, it'll tick, like I've gotten one with knife. You don't have to kill the thing with the dart. but as long as you damage an enemy with a dart and they dart, it'll contribute to the count. And if you notice here, the number is disgustingly high. Like axe is 1,000, but dart is only 200. Granted, knife is only 200. But if you look here in the corner, my mouse is... No, I've got myself is over the mouse. My big back is over the mouse. Okay. You can see enemies have... Oh wait. I'm a professional. I promise. My big back is over the SP thing. But enemies will show SP. There. On my next to my right ear. There. It says 1 SP. So you can imagine I've got to kill 300 of those things for it to count. Obviously, other enemies give different amounts of SP. But am I really gonna only fight those? Especially early game. Right? Take the longsword. I can, yeah, cool. So I can jump cancel. Charlotte's participating with her book. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this video is good. Maybe it's shit. It's probably shit. I'm like only awake because of Monster and a coffee. To be honest, anything else, I'm probably covered by now. But here I am. I like to think my videos are a little conversational. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just chatting like mad shit, and you don't listen to me at all. I try to be like in the background. I'd probably be even harder to find on Spotify because most people just listen to music on there. Like I can't even name a human being who is listening to like podcasts on Spotify. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that it's very rare. And I think people they tune into YouTube a lot more when they're like idly doing something, right? Like they're just chilling or whatever.
Thank you.
You need something in the background. Ideally, that's me. I hope. And I guess for people who are interested in the formal side of games art, like you know how film, cinema have their buffs, the video games don't really have that. Not to say that I will be that guy, but there's significantly less because people are just saying like, this is my favorite game. Nothing wrong with this, right? No, nothing wrong with this approach. But this is my favorite game. This is why. Without really any academic backing, right? The terminology is very vibey. It's like the game's atmosphere, like X, Y, and Z about the game is great. You know, it really puts you in the world. It really makes you feel this way, right? And the words are correct, right? Games are immersive, but academically, it's not entirely correct because the different levels and degrees of immersion are, you know, not exactly equal. So you can have a very strong world, right, where the player is really put at the forefront of it and is experiencing it all. And that can be immersive. Too much in, like, being super locked into a game can be immersive. Okay. Okay. So there's that, right? One thing I really like to think about is games agency. Games and agency, rather. Where, sure, we don't have freedom of choice, literally, because it's a simulation. It's like a bunch of code, and there's pre-designed and pre-programmed actions. I'm feeling like an idiot. Hold on. I am not very good at this game. I lied. But games agency. So there's limited number of choices, and you might think, well, yeah, you know, it's not a lot of agency to it, right? It's just, what's the word? It feels like that image where there are like two doorways, but at the end it's like it just sends you the same way, and that's true. But agency doesn't exactly mean that you have full freedom, right? Like us as human beings, we don't have full agency. There's so many other factors that make us make our choices. That is it really our choice, right? So then if we start looking at agency differently, and more like agency as in the actions we make have real consequences, real and meaningful consequences, because you can have an action that has real consequences, tangible ones rather, and they don't really have meaning. And with video games, we have the power to make that so, right? Where you can have simulation games where the degree of consequence to your actions is so detailed that that's immersive. Or you can have a game like your Until Dawns and Walking Dead types where the gameplay is quite... not the gameplay. The player input is quite low, but the immersiveness and agency that you're offered narratively makes it just as compelling as a game that is the complete opposite. Cool stuff. I really like it. And this is the kind of thing you only notice once you start looking into it. Like, a game will feel bad, and you won't know why. You just know it does. Right? And agency sometimes is at the forefront, where a game that has low agency feels like, feels like you're forced into playing a certain way, making certain decisions, and it's generally unfun because of that. You know, it's not your fault that you're doing X, Y, or Z, right? And that concept actually comes up in multiplayer games. So designers will consider the agency of the player or the character chosen by the player and work from there. They need to realize that certain roles, certain classes, certain characters have too high or too low agency, and so they need to adjust it accordingly to make it interesting for those players. You should feel like that. But, yeah. And I think exercising that kind of choice and freedom when often in our lives we don't, or might not have that, is very fun and very comforting. I can personally attest to that. As I've personally been touched by a few games where at some points in my life I I just have so little control and so little options that, you know, buying into a game world, Jesus, buying into a game world and, you know, fully using the agency and freedom that I have, and having a very meaningful experience from it. Full stop. Also, very rare drops during this recording. Really weird. But maybe good fortune. Good fortune. Share this video to affirm great fortune and wealth. And wellness. Or something. I don't know. I also, for the life of me, cannot understand why, after like 4 months of not posting, that people suddenly like watch my videos. You know, going on like PvP games. I know I'm like, I don't shut the fuck up about this video like ever. But like, I found out I was a real artist and human being when I found out people watched it, and people like it, and were like interacting with it. I don't know what. Yeah. Because yeah, as an artist, you get over the barrier of like humility very quickly, and you'll realize that a good amount of what you do might not be seen, which is weirdly existential. But hey, I have my whimsy, you know. I'm an image. Dare I say, I'm pretending to be a common writer. I say pretending as if I'm not like committing grand design theft at this point, you know. I'm only kidding. I love common writer, and hence that's why I look like this. Yeah. Nice. Buddy? Can I master dart before the end of this video? Or when I decide this is the end of the video? The answer is yes. I will vote for yes. Do you know what I should have bought? I didn't buy kunai. So kunai is another broken... Or no, not kunai. Shuriken. Shuriken is another broken item in this game. The main reason being it has like a low mastery. It's like 500, 1,000? No. Yeah, 500. Oh, there we go. I think there's a teleport soon, so I can go back in. But yeah, it's broken because it normally shoots 3, a really weird arc, but once upgraded it shoots 5, and that is really busted if you jump. If you jump and just spam shuriken, it just does so much damage.
Now I care to try. I'll make you a deal.
Am I poor? I mean, yes, but you know, in game.
Thank you.
Let me see if I'm a liar as well. Shuriken is also 300. but significantly easier to get to 300 under normal circumstances. One more save point, and I will leave you free. It would be hilarious if I was recording for this long and the file is just completely cooked and I can't upload it. And I've just wasted like 40 minutes of my life. I'm out of MP. But that's me. If you made it here, thanks. You've humored me. Again. Every time you click on a video, you humor me. For however many seconds you're watching it. I know I can check. But I don't care. Thank you. And, please. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna ask for that. No. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. That is me. Goodbye.